So in this video, we're going to look at something a little bit different, and that is your Photoshop menus. Now, you can create Photoshop menus yourself, or you can create menus that are based upon basically the templates that they already have. I would suggest you using the templates just to start off with to help you understand the structure. You'll notice that you have your layers over here, and notice that they have these naming conventions. What you want to do is locate one of the sample files. I'll go to Sources, Menus, and open it with Photoshop. So I'm going to pause and then open this. Alright, so here's the Photoshop document. It says some text layers may need to be updated. We can update those or not. Of course, we'll be using our own thing. It also gives us the pixel aspect ratio correction warning. And the reason it comes up with that is because this particular file by default is set to use one of the templates for video. If we go to the View menu, if Photoshop will let us, click on View, click off the pixel aspect ratio correction, and you'll see it squeezes that down, or takes away that squeeze, which is this is what the actual physical size of it is. And the reason that we're seeing it with the pixel aspect ratio correction is so that we see it correctly at 4:3 ratio. Because remember, the pixels on a TV are not the same thing as pixels on a computer. Pixels on a computer are square, and pixels on a TV are oblong. They're not square. So that's why we have the pixel aspect ratio correction. If we wanted to create our new menu from scratch, you would have to make sure that you use the film and video presets. You go to NTSC DV, and then make sure that you choose either widescreen or regular DV so that you are getting the proper settings. And that way it would come up with a blank document which is this exact size that you need. Now you do want to be aware of your title safe and your action safe, and make sure that you keep everything within your title safe part of your file. Now looking at this file, you'll see that they have a number of different layers already. I'm going to go back to this original thing. The very first thing here, they have a background layer, and that is locked, and that way it's locked so that it can't be moved, which is good. You have additional textures here, and you can see those additional textures are just added on to give this file a little bit more life to it. Of course, you could actually animate some of this stuff in After Effects to bring this menu to life, or add a few things to it, which could be kind of cool. Now, where we get into the real important stuff is when you start looking at the individual layers. So look at this first one. You see that it says play, and it says plus, then it has this =1 highlight. Well, that =1 highlight is what we're going to get when we have a selected item. And we need to go back to Encore to figure out what that one highlight is. If I go back to the entertainment menu, you'll notice down here I have normal, then I have over, and then selected. Well, this over is kind of telling me what it's going to look like when I have selected items. I'm going to go to menu color, edit menu color set. And you'll see here we've got highlight group 1, highlight group 2. And these highlight groups are determined by whether or not we have =1 highlight or possibly =2 highlight. I think that everything else in here is going to be =1 highlight, but you could possibly change this to =2 highlight instead, which means that we would be using the other menu system, or the other color set. Instead of using this color set, it would use that color set, which is kind of interesting. So you do want to be aware of what those colors are. You can set the colors yourself. You can set menu default, or you can do automatic, and it bases the colors on colors that you already have in there, kind of just picking them. If you do the menu default, you can of course select your own colors for your rollovers. Now you get basic GIF based rollovers, so you don't have fancy transparency. You do in Blu-ray, but not in the other. When you're done with this menu, of course you want to save it with all the files correctly named before you import it into Encore.